Chapter 1. The Evil Stepmother. Once a man lived happily with his wife. They had a wonderful daughter. Her name was Cinderella. She was the sweetest girl in the land. "You are the best daughter," her mother always said. Unfortunately, her mother became very ill. She asked Cinderella to come to her deathbed. She told Cinderella, "Always be kind and true, and good things will happen to you." She then closed her eyes and passed away. Cinderella cried for several days. The father was also sad for his dead wife. After 4 years, Cinderella's father met another woman. She pretended to be nice and gentle. In reality, she was the most arrogant woman around. She had 2 daughters from her previous marriage. They were just like her, arrogant and proud. The woman really fooled Cinderella's father. At last, he asked her to marry him. The stepmother was kind, but only until the wedding was over. She began to be mean and bossy. She hated everything about pretty Cinderella. The stepmother gave Cinderella all the work in the house. She had to wash the dishes, scrub the tables, and clean all the rooms. Cinderella had to work from morning till night. She had to live in a dirty attic room. She had to sleep on an old straw bed. However, her sisters had the most wonderful beds. They had everything, while Cinderella had nothing. The stepsisters always made fun of Cinderella.
"You stupid goose! You are so dirty and ugly!"
Cinderella was always very tired, but she didn't complain. Cinderella could not tell her father because he was controlled by the stepmother. When Cinderella finished her work, she used to sit in the corner by the chimney. There were always a lot of ashes, and she would get very dirty. Because of her dirty appearance, her sisters called her Cinderrags.
"Cinderrags, Cinderrags, as dirty and ugly as an old hag,"
they would tease her. Even though she looked dirty, she was much more beautiful than her sisters. One day, the king's son decided to have a party. It would be the grandest party of all time. It would last for 3 days. There would be dancing, food, and plenty to drink. The young stepsisters were invited to the party. They were both so very happy to be going. They wanted to look their best. They called Cinderella.
"Comb our hair for us. Shine our shoes,"
they ordered. Cinderella diligently helped them prepare for this important event.
"Cinderella, don't you want to go to the party?"
the sisters asked her.
"You are only joking with me,"
she said. "I should not go to such a fancy place."
"You are quite right," they replied. "People would laugh if they saw a dirty girl at the party."
The stepsisters were so mean. They enjoyed making fun of Cinderella. They finally left for their party with their mother. Cinderella watched them for as long as possible. When she couldn't see them anymore, she started to cry. Chapter 2. The Prince's Party. Her godmother, a fairy, saw Cinderella in tears. She asked her, "What is the matter, my dear child?" I wish I could. She was not able to finish her sentence. Her godmother knew what Cinderella wished for. "You want to go to the party, don't you?" "Yes," cried Cinderella with a great sigh. "Okay," said her godmother. "I will make it so that you can go. Run into the garden and bring me a pumpkin." Cinderella immediately brought a big pumpkin to her. Her godmother struck the pumpkin with her magic wand and said the magic word, "Abracadabra." It instantly turned into a beautiful coach. Cinderella couldn't believe her eyes. The godmother then took out her mousetrap. Inside, there were 6 mice. She gave each mouse a little tap with her wand. Abracadabra! Each mouse turned into a fine horse. Then, the godmother chose one of the rats in Cinderella's trap and turned him into a driver. After that, the fairy said to Cinderella, "Go again into the garden and find 6 lizards." When Cinderella brought 6 lizards to her, the godmother turned them into 6 escorts. Great transportation was ready for Cinderella. "I'm very happy," said Cinderella. "But must I go in these dirty clothes?" "Don't worry," said her godmother. She touched Cinderella with her wand. At that moment, her clothes turned into cloth of gold and silver. Then her godmother gave her a pair of glass slippers. They were the prettiest she had ever seen. Thank you," said Cinderella. She then got into her coach and was ready to go. Her godmother gave her one last command. "Don't stay out past midnight. After midnight, the coach and the other things would become just as they were before." "I will leave the party before midnight," she promised her godmother. She was so excited as she drove away. The prince was told that a great princess had arrived. He ran out to meet her. He gave her his hand as she stepped down from the coach. He led her into the party with all the other guests. Everyone became silent and stopped dancing. Nothing could be heard but people whispering, "How beautiful she is!" Even the king could not stop watching her. The prince took her to the best seat at the party. Afterwards, they went to dance. She was the best dancer at the party. All of the guests admired her. A delicious meal was served, but the prince could not eat. He was too busy looking at the beautiful princess. Cinderella went and sat down by her sisters. She was very kind to them. She shared her food with them. After a while, Cinderella heard the clock strike 11:45. She politely said goodbye and hurried away as fast as she could. Arriving home, she thanked Godmother. She said the prince had invited her to the party tomorrow. "I would really love to go to the party again tomorrow," she said. The next day, the two sisters went to the party. Cinderella's godmother quickly came and prepared Cinderella for the party. She was dressed more beautifully than before. At the party, the prince was always by Cinderella's side. Cinderella enjoyed every moment at the party. She quite forgot what her godmother had told her. The clock began to strike 12. She jumped up and ran away. The prince followed, but could not catch her. She ran so fast that one of her glass slippers fell off her foot. She didn't have time to go back. She had to leave it behind. The prince picked it up most carefully. Chapter 3. The Glass Slipper.
"If only the prince would love me," said the older sister. "I would do anything to marry the prince,"
cried the younger one. The two stepsisters dreamed of marrying the handsome prince. So they both were jealous of this mysterious princess. The young prince was indeed in love with the mysterious princess. A few days later, the prince announced, "I will marry the person whose foot fits this glass slipper." There was great excitement throughout the kingdom. Every woman was eager to try on the slipper. Each one hoped that the slipper would fit her. The king appointed a man to find the owner of the glass slipper. One by one, he began to try it on all the women in the kingdom. Many of them tried to pretend that the slipper fit. They all wanted to marry the prince. However, it was obvious that their feet were either too big or too small. None of the women were able to fool the king's man. After several days, most of the women in the kingdom had tried on the glass slipper. There was only one house remaining, Cinderella's. The king's man brought it to the two sisters. They did everything to force their foot into the slipper. No matter how hard they tried, they could not succeed. After many useless attempts, they had to finally give up. The sisters began to cry. They were both so sad. Their dreams of marrying the prince were over. Cinderella saw all of this. She knew that it was her slipper. She was very patient. When the two sisters had finished, she said to him, "Let me see if it will fit me." Her sisters laughed and began to tease her.
"No way this slipper will fit your dirty foot,"
they said. The gentleman from the palace looked at Cinderella. Although she was dirty, he thought that she was very pretty. He said, "Every woman in the kingdom should try on the slipper." He asked Cinderella to sit down. He put the slipper on her foot. He was surprised when it went on very easily. The slipper fit her perfectly. Her two sisters were greatly shocked. Then Cinderella pulled out of her pocket the other slipper. The two sisters were even more surprised.
"This can't be happening!"
they cried out. Then her godmother entered the room. She touched her wand to Cinderella's clothes. They became even more magnificent than those clothes she had worn. Now her sisters discovered that the beautiful lady at the party was Cinderella.
"Please, please forgive us,"
they begged.
"We are very sorry for what we have done."
Cinderella hugged them and said, "I forgive both of you with all of my heart." She was taken to the young prince. The prince said, "When I first saw you, it was love at first sight." Cinderella really loved the prince too. A few days later, the prince married her. It was a beautiful wedding. People from all over the land came to the wedding. They all wanted to see this beautiful princess. Cinderella was just as good as she was beautiful. She gave her two sisters a home in the palace. She also found two fine men for them to marry. They lived together happily ever after.